This Final Cut Pro 10 Tour presentation is brought to you by the LumaForge Share Station, the world's best storage for Final Cut 10. For more information on how the Share Station can improve your workflow, head on over to lumaforge.com.
We're from STV, and we are very proud to be from STV. It's a production company in Denmark, and this is our logo, and we care for content. Because STV is one of the largest independent production companies in Denmark, and is owned by this guy, René. And why is that important? It's important because we are allowed to make mistakes. We are allowed to follow our hearts. We're not a big company with lots of owners. It's just René. We're about 55 people, talented people at STV, and we produce about 290 hours of content each year. 3 years ago, we would have said we were the best at factual entertainment, but now we're just one of the leading producers. So we also produce, besides factual entertainment, big characters. We have documentary style, cinema style. We were the first ones to get access to the Danish version of Navy SEALs. We followed them a year, and that's very, very interesting documentary. We do live events. Actually, Denmark is the leading country in the world regarding collecting money from the citizens, thanks to us. We do social experiments as well, game shows. I do this as well, Bargain King, and now we also do constructed reality drama that we are going to talk about today. It's called Klassen, also known as The Class. It's situated in a school, on a school, and it's for the Danish Broadcasting Corporation. DR is the largest and the oldest broadcaster in Denmark. It's for their kids channel called Ultra, and it's from kids from the age from 7 to 12.
Is it a reality series or is it scripted?
It's constructed reality. It's drama. The thing is that we've made manuscripts, but we don't have lines for them to say. They're actually improvising a lot of their stories, and that's actually the key to getting this style of authenticity in it. Actually, it started with a very good idea, and the next thing was, how do we do this? How do we produce so many episodes in such short time on such a low budget? Because it's for children, we don't get a lot of money, and one of the key elements was the choice of NLE.
Yes, I was going to talk about that because I know STV, you are normally a 100% Avid company.
Yeah.
And what? Oh, there we are. So what made you decide to choose Final Cut Pro 10 for this specific production?
I'm a producer at STV, but I also edit some of our promos when we go out to sell our formats. And I edit on Final Cut. Okay. So I know a little about that platform. So when I set out to find something that could work with us, I had a lot of ideas from you guys. So I thought, okay, could this be done in Avid? Media Composer, and the things I was looking for was speed. I needed to come very short time from shoot to master. I was looking for highest production value possible with almost like no budget at all. We couldn't afford any high gloss graphics, and I still needed to be able to grade and do stuff. I just didn't have the time or actually the money. I said, listen guys, to my boss, I need to try and do this. And they said, okay, but you're on your own.
All right.
So I needed to contact somebody who actually was able to edit it in Final Cut Pro.
I know Giusy.
Yeah.
What are the things that you like about Final Cut Pro 10?
Well, Final Cut Pro 10, for the first, it's the speed I like. That everything is just up and running in no time, and that I can focus on the editing, on the story, on the characters, and the second thing I really find is very interesting with Final Cut 10 is the collaboration with other people that maybe are not always editors, but sometimes assistants or post-producers or commissioning editors or producers. And especially on this post-production, we have a very good collaboration workflow, especially because we all are allowed to go in, and because of the magnetic timeline, for example, a very good feature of Final Cut Pro 10 that I really like, is that it's quite easy for people to make some ideas or to show an idea, to touch the actual material and to be really working together on it. Sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming how many people can actually come into the process. Then you also feel like, ooh, I have to I have to have a talk now. This is going too far. But I think it's a very giving way of editing that you really can work together on Final Cut.
So the choice was made for Final Cut 10, and you put together a team.
Yeah. Then we went to pre-production and shooting, and this is our choice of gun. We shoot on Mark IIs, and each episode is shot on 2 cameras, so we have actually a whole lot of material. For sound, we were very fortunate to find a location where everything was soundproof. So it's actually a real school. That also meant we could only record shoot in the holiday because nobody was there. But it's the sound, the acoustics of the school is brilliant. So I had 2 sound guys coming, just wow. So we have very good production value, production sound value, and I think that kind of levitates the whole project up to where it sounds really good. But the scale of it, just to let you know, this is a short section of our production matrix, and just to give you a short, this is how we shoot. It's like everybody's their holidays and stuff. It was really a nightmare, and that kind of takes me over to, I have to say thanks to Philip and Greg. Yeah, he's right. Because my evenings are spent searching the internet and being a lurker on FCP and all that. And I saw this insane program called Lumberjack, and I found out they also made this really insane program called Sing and Ding. And those 2 apps really tied everything together with Final Cut to make it able to come from shooting to editing in a very short time. I don't know if you know this, but we can actually log on site, and when our great assistant editor, he's sitting right there, when everything comes in, it takes about an hour to 2 hours, and we just have a completely finalized library, and everybody can just open up and find their way around. It's really good. And the editing setup, just very fast, and then Giusy can tell a bit how we edit. We've got 3 editors, IMAX, 2 creative. One is mine, and one is our creative producer, and we've got 1 for export. And this is actually Giusy just editing away. We're glad we're here on weekends, so because she needs to work. So it's really a really basic setup we have. Storage. Oh yeah. Sam, are you here? Because we have quite a thing today. We had one big challenge. Yeah. We have a very big video server at STV, but it couldn't handle FCP, and I know you helped us a lot. But we needed shared storage for our workflow, and this made us really think outside the box. And this is confidential. You're actually the first ones to see this in the whole world. We have invented our own server. Well, actually it was a bridge server because we needed to buy time to get a new server, but I think it's going to revolutionize this. This is our server. Yes, we made 3 servers. That's the hammer for putting all the pens in. So we can have server 1, 2, and 3, and we had the libraries on each USB stick, and actually the media on the Nexus that it couldn't handle. And it kind of worked. It was hell, but, well, it actually worked. It worked. It started as a joke, but then things just progressed into this. So we had 14 days of editing with, you can see we labeled them episode 22, and yeah, it was a nightmare. But we call it the octopus. 1 point. Just kidding. Of course, we ended up with a JellyFish, and that just, it just works. It was amazing. And you went out for lunch, and when you came back, all the editors, we changed from one setup to the other, just like that. And I haven't tried anything like that before.
Okay, so we're going to talk about your workflow in Final Cut Pro 10.
Yeah, maybe Giusy can tell a bit about that.
So we have we have 69 programs, and every program has its own library, and we have different stages of the editing process, and we have to deliver quite fast. We have to actually deliver 4 programs per week to the broadcaster. So what we do is we have an assistant editor who's also like an editor. The assistant editor, he makes the first cut out of the logging system in the program, and all the building blocks, and every program has a script, of course. Every story has a script, and it's a 10-minute story, and it's with 3 different directors, and they also have a very different way of shooting and directing, and also the amount of material they deliver. After the first step, we have the next stage is the 1 day of editing, where you try to really tell the story, and then it goes to the creative or post-producer, and he has a look at it as well, and he gives his markers, and on the same time he does this, I'm already to the next program. So it's a very, very efficient way of working together with 5 people, actually, very intensively every day. And of course, we also take time sometimes to talk with each other, but mostly we work inside Final Cut with markers and Frame.io we use for actually give the external feedback from DR, the commissioning editor, who has also been very engaged in the script writing.
Yeah.
And so everybody is really working on all these stories together. It's like 6 people actually, including him.
Actually,
and that's why we can also manage in such a short time to actually make every story work. And the challenge for the editors is to be here in the now and really follow your first intuition, and that's it. Go with that, and then there is another round, but we are not going to discuss a lot.
It's pretty important what Giusy says, because when I started hiring people, when I talked to them, I said there's one thing you need to buy into, and that's the amount of no time you have to do this. If you don't like that, please walk away, because this needs to be from the stomach and needs to be fast. The fun thing is that I actually talked to the commissioning editor and his boss yesterday. We were sitting talking about how the workflow had went, and if we're gonna make more, what we're gonna do and stuff. But the thing that they said, actually the speed kind of helped the idea not to die. I don't know if you ever tried it. You have a very good idea and it goes through all the bosses and it comes back and it's green and whatever. We don't have time for that. So we have time for one session of feedback and on to the next. And of course that kind of I said to everybody when we had the big production dinner, you're the bravest people I know, because this is really it's terrifying that, but have you checked it? Is it okay? I don't know. We have to go on. And, but it's really interesting, because when people are talented, of course it's okay. And you haven't
we know that it's okay.
Yeah, and you haven't overthought things, and it has this really intense energy.
Yeah.
And I actually have a clip for you at the end. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I think it's really interesting, because the mastering, we also did something you don't do normally. We kind of stayed in the box for almost everything. The color grading is done completely native. We don't have any fancy plugins, because we're doing it via XML. We have our grader. He has a complete setup duplicated from ours, so he has his little server with all the media on, and we just kind of send XML to each other. The auto mix is done through Pro Tools via X2 Pro, and then we kind of master it all in Final Cut. Just show you a short clip of what we're doing. I think it talks for itself, and there's sound on.
It's just one scene.
One scene, yeah. Short scene.
Hej Emil.
Hej.
Hvad så? Er der noget galt?
Nej, alt er fint.
Nej, jeg kan jo se, der er et eller andet galt.
Det der rygte med at jeg er kæreste med dig, Sofia. Altså, folk siger det hele tiden til mig.
Du skal bare ignorere det. Bare lad være med at tænke over det. Bare ignorere dem.
Emma.
Ja.
Jeg ved godt, at det er dig, der har startet rygtet.
Nej.
Jeg ved også godt, at det er dig, der har kaldt Sofia for en kærestetyv.
Det var altså ikke mig.
Emma, jeg ved, det var dig.
Hvorfor tror du sådan noget om mig?
Jeg har fået det at vide af andre, altså. Det er virkelig tarveligt, det der. Hvordan kan du gøre det der
Det var
mod
ikke
mig?
mig. Men hvad skulle jeg ellers gøre? Altså, Sofia var ved at stjæle Emil fra mig.
Altså, Emma, du er stadig sød og sådan noget. Jeg vil stadig gerne være din ven, men jeg tror bare ikke, vi skal være kærester længere.
Er du så vild med Sofia?
Hvad? Nej, det er jo intet at gøre med det.
Du er totalt vild med Sofia. Du skulle bare aldrig have fortalt Emma, at jeg godt kunne lide Emil. Nu er de slået op. På grund af mig. Stakkels Emma.
Jeg er så ked af, at det skulle ende på den her måde.
Men det er jeg også, altså. Jeg gider slet ikke være sammen med sådan en sportsidiot som dig. Du har ikke endnu en fodbold at tænke på.
Ej, Emma, lad nu være. Emma!
That's beautiful. So actually it deals with the real life problems that
all the small things.
Yeah.
Small things, but big problems for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I must think if you do it that way, that the program must be popular.
Yes, it's funny you should mention that. We're on the edge of Flow TV's future here, because this is the age group that they're no longer, they don't see any Flow TV at all. So this is a frame grab for streaming. That's actually maybe not the sole numbers that the broadcaster check, but it's the main thing for them. And this is for 1 week, and we kind of catapulted all our shows up at the high end. We deliver a lot of small original content to be released on the same day as the show, that are completely original, and that also gets the most. This is the most viewed for the channel.
So you have 69 episodes to deliver. How many have you done now?
33 we delivered, and we are editing 44, number 44.
And they're
How much
airing.
time? And how much time did you do that?
We started shooting
on July 4th.
Oh, we started editing also on July 4th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 33 episodes.
We have around 3 days per episode
Right.
for editing, and a lot less for shooting. We shoot a lot.
Okay. That's amazing. So, what is your impression now? This is the first time your company works with Final Cut Pro 10 on a production like this. What is your impression after having edited 33 episodes in it?
The impression is wow. Of course,
We knew it.
we knew it,
Yeah.
but my boss said, "How is this possible?" And I just said, "Well, because of Final Cut Pro." Giusy, you said it. You can actually kind of physically take on the timeline a scene and change it over, and that's how I think. I'm not an editor, but that's how I think. So that's why it was a choice for me personally. But I think the experience has been extremely good, and the reason why some of the old things work, we were just talking about it outside. Some of the old ways of doing things work is because you're used to it. Yeah. So when you're doing something new, of course you run into codec problems. We had, can I mention that?
Yeah.
The codec, the codec we filmed on longer up 50 megabit. Don't do it. I mean, we had stuff. We were. This is really scary because we are. I think we're 3 weeks ahead of airtime, so we don't have any lead in. We don't have any time for it. Let's do it tomorrow. It has to be now. And Joachim, he exported a master, and we saw it through, and it had pixelation in it. A scene cutting to another scene is just.
Not on the timeline, but in the export.
It wasn't on the timeline, but it was in the
scary.
export. And you complained about, it's pixelating sometimes. It had a glitch, and we call her the glitch bitch because there were so many. And we couldn't kind of figure out. I say, okay, listen, it's okay. It's on when we just view it on the timeline and blah blah blah, but it's in our exports, and we couldn't find out why. And we had a lot of deep digging, and we kind of found out it's because of maybe not the actual codec, but maybe the plugin for Mac. I don't know.
But you also had it on Avid. The same.
Yes, but that's also cut on a Mac. I don't know, but still, we kind of traced it back to that particular codec. So after that, we took a deep breath and transcoded all our stuff because now we had the room and we saw it could be there on the server. But that was really scary, and I mean. That's experience, and now we know we're gonna shoot on another codec or another camera. I don't know.
We're looking forward to see you cutting more shows. On and on JellyFishes.
Yeah, I mean that's a beast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And it just worked. My IT guy, he was like, "Okay, are you okay? Is it set up?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's
fine.
Yesterday. We've been cutting two days on it." He was like, "What? Could you do it one click?" You said it as well. I could do it one click.
Yeah.
And you can actually, and that's really. Actually, we changed
We
physically.
moved
We moved.
Oh yeah, I know.
I did it on a Sunday. I came in on a Sunday while my youngest kid was sleeping. I drove in and took the IMAX down and put it all up and went back before he woke up, and we were just up and running. Nobody noticed, and you can't do that normally.
Okay. Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation.
Thank you.
And looking forward to working with you for a long time.
The pleasure is ours, I think.
Morten and Giusy from STV.